When I was newer to astrophotography, my images just didn't look that great, and I think part of it was due to bad investment and lack of skills. So the purpose of this video is to help you make the right choices in which gear to buy and what skills to focus on learning. I think one of my biggest mistakes was buying a DSLR instead of a dedicated astronomy camera. Now why this is because a DSLR, even though they're very cheap and affordable, they just don't have the longevity for astrophotography. And if you're primarily interested in astrophotography, I wouldn't waste your money on a DSLR. Those are just not meant for astrophotography, or at least most of them aren't. I would definitely go for it like a 533 MC by ZWO, ASI 533 MC. Those are great cameras. But I would definitely, if you're on a tight budget, maybe go for DSLR, or if you're interested in other things other than astrophotography, so like if you're into photography, stuff like that, and you want to do YouTube like I am, you can definitely go for a DSLR. I would definitely recommend doing that, especially if doing other things beside astrophotography. Then there's a good reason to go for something else. I think one of my bigger mistakes I made as a beginner is definitely investing in two different parts of the hobby. I invested in Planetary and Deep Sky. The reason why this is a bad idea is because not only will it be really expensive, but you won't have all the gear required for the one specific type of astrophotography you want to do, and that means you're going to get two crappy images and two different types of astrophotography rather than one really good image on one type. So, and plus you won't have time to learn just the one part of the hobby, you have to learn both. So I would definitely recommend, especially if you're just starting out, invest only in one part of the hobby. That is very essential. So for example, if you're doing deep sky astrophotography, make sure to get a mount, a really good solid mount. That's another thing I definitely screwed up on. I should have got a better mount because the mount I got was the Skywatcher EQM35 Pro, and I had a budget around $2,500. So I probably should have got like an HEQ5 and then maybe a William Optics ES61. That was a good investment I got. I would have also probably got an ASI 533 MC and something like that. That would have been a good, decent setup at the time for me. And that is a lot better than a DSLR and a crap mount that doesn't know how to track the way you want it to, because either your gear's too heavy, like getting a massive telescope to put on a very weak mount, that's going to produce a lot of star trails and all sorts of assorted problems, and then a DSLR will be very noisy. So the whole thing is not going to do too great. That's why I'd say make sure you get the right gear at the right time. Now talking about skills, I'd say the worst thing I did when I was a new astrophotographer in terms of skills is I definitely spent way too much time on processing, meaning like I focused all my time, because I like computers, like sitting down at computers, so I focused all on processing. I didn't focus hardly anything on setting up. I didn't focus on making sure things weren't trailed, so I'd end up with really smeared images with trails and dust spots because I didn't bother to take flats or anything. So it's just, you got to spend time evenly on all parts of the hobby across. You shouldn't just spend on one area, because that one area won't suffice for everything. You need to spend on certain areas to bring them all together and to make sure it becomes a great masterpiece looking image. Oh, by the way, my name is Asher, and I make astrophotography content all about space videos, learning astrophotography, all sorts of cool stuff. So if you like that kind of content, make sure to subscribe. Anyways, until next time, clear skies.